Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I figured I'd do a short little video today about some very exciting news that I heard through the grapevine. And I came out to our 1979 Chrysler 300, pulled it out of the garage. It's a beautiful day here in Michigan. It's, it's not really warm. It's like 50 degrees, but beautiful blue skies. We've had rain for the last few days, so I figured I'd pull the 300 out and let it run for a while and charge the battery up on it. Well, anyways, I got some really good news earlier this morning about the Chrysler brand. And I've been very critical of Chrysler over the past, I don't know, at least 4 or 5 months about how they haven't done anything to celebrate that 2025 is the brand's 100th anniversary. Now, back in 2014, Dodge celebrated its 100th anniversary and launched like special edition models. I got to go to an event that was for the media at the Meadowbrook Mansion, which was really cool, and they brought out all the historical vehicles for Dodge, like the very first minivan and all this stuff, and let the media actually drive them. It was really cool. There was a ton of cars there, and they even brought out all their concept cars from the past. Well, not all of them, but a majority of them, the popular ones, and put them on display, including some of their new cars, which was pretty cool. I mean, everything was there. It was a big event. But they went on to do commercials and all this stuff promoting that the brand is 100 years old. And, as the industry moves forward, you see a lot of these new brands coming in, but there's a handful of brands that have been here for 100 years, these legacy brands, and you think Chrysler would be like, hey, we need to promote this as much as possible, and we haven't seen nothing. So I was very critical of Chris Fuel and, the Chrysler brand. So this morning, I get the word that Chrysler is starting, I think, at the end, next week, starting next week, the end of next week, where the New York Auto Show is coming. And they're going to have a huge display celebrating Chrysler's 100th anniversary, because Chrysler actually kicked off at the New York Auto Show. So I don't know what they're doing, but it's good to hear that they're actually going to go full bore into marketing the brand for its 100th anniversary. I've been a diehard Chrysler person since I was a really little kid. And the Chrysler brand, to me, I've always been a Dodge and a Plymouth fan. It wasn't until I got into my, probably early 30s that I really started to appreciate Chrysler more. Chrysler to me was always like the older guy's car and stuff like that. But as I've gotten older, I kind of understand like the blue collar luxury, the whole finesse about the brand. I wasn't a huge fan of the 300 compared to the Dodge Charger. And then I ended up buying one and fell in love with the car. And now we have this 1979 Chrysler. I always liked the Cordovas and stuff because it was, the more sporty. But the 300 itself has been a nameplate that meant performance, but it was like luxury performance. And that's what this car is. I mean, this is at the end of the whole like two-door coupe era. It's emission struggled because of the fuel crisis and stuff like that, but it's truly a luxury car for its day. But the brand has changed over the years, especially the last decade. We've seen it go from this blue-collar luxury brand that the working man can afford an actual luxury vehicle, kind of like how Buick is. Because, again, a lot of people don't know that, Walter P. Chrysler ran Buick and then came in to fix Maxwell and ended up purchasing Maxwell and kind of basically took his formula that was a success at Buick and put it into Chrysler. But we've seen the brand kind of switch over to this whole mainstream kind of motif, and it hasn't worked. We've seen vehicles come and go. Now they have a single vehicle. We've heard of them going all electric. So I'm really, really happy to hear that they're going to go full bore into this 100th anniversary marketing campaign. We've already seen hints of it starting today. Stellantis has been posting social media stuff about the Chrysler brand, like hinting at the heritage of the Chrysler brand. Up until now, the only thing that I had seen that said anything about a 100th anniversary for the brand was one press release where it had it at the bottom about the bio of the brand. So this is going to be big for Chrysler. Chrysler needs to come out and say, hey, we're a legacy brand. You know, there's going to be a future. And I'm hoping that they will be officially on the record saying that they're going to move away from this whole EV thing. We've seen Alfa Romeo do it, but I'm waiting for Chrysler to come out and say, hey, we're done with the whole EV, like straight EV future. We're going to have hybrids. We're going to have internal combustion. We're going to go back to how it was. We're going to offer EVs. I think EVs are still part of the picture, but they're going to be, I hope they come out and officially say that, hey, we're not going to do the whole EV thing and be like a Tesla brand. I just don't think it would work. But I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that we'll hear something also about future vehicles coming up soon. Hopefully introducing something other than the Halcyon concept. We know, like I heard for sure that Chrysler will be coming to the Carlisle Nationals, the Chrysler Carlisle Nationals. So the Halcyon will probably be there, maybe some other cars and stuff like that. But that's a big thing because Chrysler hasn't been taking part of anything in the last few years. And Dodge will also be there as well. But Chris Fuel, what I hear is she's going to attend. I'm going to try to see if I can interview her because I would like to know what's going on with the Chrysler brand. As a diehard Chrysler person, I would love to know what is going to go on for the rest of not only this year celebrating the 100th anniversary, but I want to see, that there is a future other than these mainstream vehicles. I really think there's going to be a lot of change. It's been kind of suspicious, and a lot of people have questioned it because, they haven't talked about anything. It's been dead silent. Chris Fuel's been talking about, now she's the head of Alfa Romeo North America, and she's been out publicly saying, hey, we're not going to be an electric car brand and all this other stuff anymore to please the dealers, because there's not many dealers left here in the U.S., and their sales have been down tremendously. But the problem is she hasn't come out and said anything about Chrysler. And Chrysler's sales are way higher than Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo only sold 8,533 cars in the U.S. last year. Chrysler sold 120,000 plus. So they really need to jump on this. And this is what's causing a lot of confusion with the brand, because a lot of people are saying, oh, Chrysler's dead. I've done a whole bunch of videos. Chrysler isn't far from dead. There's vehicles in the pipeline, but obviously everything's changing at Stellantis like very rapidly. And they're trying to fix the cars. A lot of people don't understand that with the bad launches of the Charger Daytona and, in the Wagoneer S, they're trying to fix the Stella large platform cars now before they release more. You want to get those situated because you want to just keep pumping out cars that are having problems. And, they've suspended, not canceled. They suspended the new C6X crossover. So hopefully this year, by the end of the year, we'll hear something about the C6X. It was due to start production next year. And then hopefully we'll be hearing, because she said that we're going to be working on a sedan. Hopefully we'll hear more about that. But I'm really hoping that this whole new thing starting next week will start to kill off these rumors that Chrysler's dead and they're selling Chrysler. They're not selling Chrysler. The very interesting news is, if you read Mopar Insiders this morning, I posted an article on there thanks to Bloomberg. They wrote, they actually heard word that Stellantis reached out to McKinsey & Company, which is a consulting firm. And they're looking at options, what to do with the Alfa Romeo brand and the Maserati brand, because with the tariffs from the U.S., Alfa Romeo, what do they do with that brand? It's been a bomb. It's been failing all around the world. The sales are down big time. Maserati's number one market is the U.S., and with these tariffs on it, they're screwed. The Italian government's been coming after Stellantis because they haven't been building enough vehicles there. There's just a whole bunch of chaos. So this McKinsey Group is going to be looking at what they can do to either solve the issue, or if it's going to be worthwhile to sell the brands off, the two brands. So Alfa Romeo and Maserati. Not Chrysler, not Dodge. Alfa Romeo and Maserati. Two poor selling brands that don't even put out enough, like any kind of sales near what Dodge and Chrysler do in North America alone. And both are global brands. So they might sell off. We don't know. We've heard that there's some Asian groups that have showed, or what Stellantis says, expressed interest in purchasing Maserati and Alfa Romeo, but it never said anything about Chrysler or Dodge or anything like that. So the Chrysler brand is safe, Dodge is safe, but we should see here in the next couple weeks what's going to happen with those companies. But for now, it's good to see that Stellantis is focusing on these American brands, especially Chrysler. And right now, Chrysler's kind of screwed because, you know, they only build one vehicle, and everything's coming out of the Windsor assembly plant, and the Windsor assembly plant's down for another week after this one, at least. And we're hearing that it'll probably be down until the end of the month when the new Canadian elections go on. So they're waiting to hear what's going to happen with the government change, if there's going to be a government change over there, the Liberals going to stay in place. They don't know. But the whole point is they're going to be marketing the hell out of the Chrysler brand here. And it's going to be a very good thing for all of Chrysler, all of it. So it doesn't matter if you're a diehard Mopar guy, a diehard Chrysler guy, or both. I mean, it's nothing but positivity. So hopefully we'll see new campaigns, possibly some new special edition cars. I don't know. They're playing it really close to the chest, but we're going to see some big changes coming through for the marketing, at least for Chrysler. So stay tuned. I'm going to be covering this big time because, of course, I'm a diehard Chrysler guy. So I will see you guys in the next video. Later.